It's time that we talk about the Lakers losing their series against the Denver Nuggets 4-1 last night, with Jamal Murray hitting a last-second shot, his second last-second shot in this series, to give Denver the win, 108-106. There's a lot of things for us to go over. A lot of reasons why the Lakers lost this series, but for me, I'm looking at this game in particular, and there is a pivotal moment that I believe is why the Lakers lost. There's about two or so, right? But overall, what I will say that a lot of people don't want to acknowledge, but Coach Mike Malone did in his post-game interview, is that the Lakers are a very good team, and they honestly were more matched than I think people realize to end up trying to beat the Denver Nuggets in this series. I mean, they led every single game in this series, and they could just never get the job done. The sustainability just wasn't there for the Lakers, and that kind of is in the conversation of rotations, needing timely stops, needing buckets when you need them. There's a lot of reasons why the Lakers did not win this series, but when you think about this game, I could pinpoint a literal moment that I believe is the reason why the Lakers lost this game. In the third quarter, you see the score, right? Denver's up by 1 point, 72-71, 2 minutes, 53 seconds left in the third quarter. This is not where it all went wrong. It went wrong when the Lakers were up 69-60 and Denver started to go on a run and there was no timeout called. Nothing. Now, general rule that you ask a lot of coaches. Now, look, if a team starts to go on a run and you see that gap start to get a little closer, 69-65, you call a timeout. The Denver Nuggets went on a 14-2 run, and by the time Darvin Ham called a timeout, it was 74-71 because Jamal Murray ends up getting to the basket and scoring this. You don't call a timeout now when the lead is gone. You call a timeout when you still have the lead to make sure you're putting your team in the best position to win games. They had a timeout to take, okay? They could have, and I do believe that this was the pivotal moment where they really lost this game and all the momentum. It's a hard pill for the Lakers to swallow losing this series because they really could have won this series, and they really could have won this game because I promise you, if this was going back to LA for a game 6, I truly believe we would have saw a game 7, and I think the Denver Nuggets knew that too. And you look at all of it throughout this game, LeBron showed up. AD showed up. What I also think was a pivotal moment for them losing this game is when AD has to kind of go out with that shoulder arm injury. And what did the Denver Nuggets do? They took advantage of that. Jackson Hayes is in. Bet. We're about to hunt him. We're about to get to the basket. We're going to put him in all these actions because you can't really do that with Anthony Davis. On top of that, Anthony Davis offensively was getting buckets on Joker, okay? Like, let's not just act like he wasn't out there performing. He ended up coming back in the game, but that whole time that he's not there, the Denver Nuggets took advantage of it. So if you look at how the Lakers lost this game, you look back at them not calling a timeout as the lead is starting to go away, and then you also look at the fact that there was some really pivotal moments and minutes in the game where Anthony Davis is not on the floor because of the injury, and the Denver Nuggets take advantage of that. You look at the Lakers, and everyone says, well, people need to show up, right? D'Lo had 14 points, which is pretty solid for him. AR had 19 points. Anthony Davis, 17 for 15. Rui gave 15 to 5. And then you got LeBron James with 30, 9, and 11. When I say that this was a game that the Lakers could have won, they could have. But it's the little things. I know a lot of people are blaming coaching, but there are other factors in all of this that plays a part as to why a team just could not get it together in a series that they led the entire time in. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, the Denver Nuggets are the better team. Jamal Murray, Joker. I understand all that. But to me, the star of this game, really the star of the series, Michael Porter Jr. He gave 26 points in this game, this closeout game that they needed. But throughout this series, I feel like Michael Porter Jr. has not been able to miss a three-point shot at all, okay? Those are the threes that when you feel like a defense is trying to get a stop and the shot clock is winding down and it looks like it's going to go the other way, you got a guy who gives you a three that kind of takes the soul out of a team with desperation. That was Michael Porter Jr. to me this entire series, but this game in particular. There were transition threes when Lakers weren't rebounding, getting back on defense, where he's pulling up and he's straight up cashing it. He's wide open on certain switches that the Lakers were doing. Michael Porter Jr. to me was the difference maker in this series. And for a lot of people, it kind of went unnoticed because of Joker and Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon. But Michael Porter Jr. to me, especially in this game, was the star. Brings me to Jamal Murray, okay? 32 points in this game. Game 2, he hits the last second shot on AD. Game 5, he hits the last second shot on AR. Biggest question everyone's asking is, why would you have AR going one-on-one with Jamal Murray anyway? I'm sitting there either trapping him immediately or getting the ball out of his hands, because he's already known to be a Laker slayer. He likes these last second shots in these moments. In every game, it seems like when Jamal Murray isn't playing great, he comes in the fourth quarter and he reminds you why he is who he is. And if you start to think about it, Jamal Murray might be one of the most disrespected players in the NBA because he's never been an all-star. He's never gotten an individual NBA award accolade. But then he does things like this that make you sit there and scratch your head and say, now wait a minute. He's been doing this though. He's been cooking all season. Without him, the Nuggets don't even get to where they're supposed to be, which Mike Malone has said over and over again. Jamal Murray had a calf strain. He wasn't even about to play in game 5. But he said in the post-game interview, he got emotional back there because he was like, if I don't play, we don't win this game. If I would have sat there because of this calf, we don't have this. And he's right. If Jamal Murray's not out there, this isn't happening. And that's no discredit to Joker because he played amazing. He had 25 and 20. What more can you ask for? But Jamal Murray does things where you sit there and you say, he is the guiding light. He is the anchor for them when they need a big bucket and for games like this. The biggest questions lingering about the Los Angeles Lakers this offseason is, will LeBron James remain a Laker? Because there is a big conversation that he could be a free agent for the first time since 2018. But a lot of people are believing that he is going to sign a 2 to 3 year extension with the Lakers this offseason. If you ask AD, Rui, AR during the postgame, they all said, we have what we need to be a championship team. We should keep our core. And the heart of that core is LeBron James. And it's saying that the Lakers are willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that they remain him here. But there is another question that needs to be answered that everyone wants to know. Will Darvin Ham remain the Los Angeles Lakers head coach next season? A lot of people don't think he will. And that's because there have been a lot of questions throughout the season. I stand on what I believe. If the Lakers actually go into the season with the right rotations, the right strategy and play calling, they're not in the play-in having to fight for their lives and then you end up having to play the Denver Nuggets in the first round. This could have been an entirely different situation, right? And a lot of those things, look at Darvin Ham. You think about the rotations that he made throughout the season. Why was he benching D'Lo and AR and Rui? Why was he going with lineups with Taurean Prince, Cam Reddish, and Vando? Vando gets hurt. Taurean Prince came up big in this series, and then Cam Reddish kind of minutes go away and he gets hurt. So then you go back to your original lineup. Then it's problems with D'Lo because he's not being consistent. You're benching him in games where he's cooking, and everyone's wondering, well, wait, why would you bench him now? There's moments in games AR is cooking, he's getting benched. There's all these questions, right? With the play calling, the rotations, why does he never call timeouts? He never uses challenges, which was a big deal in this game because he ends up challenging a play, losing the only timeout that they had left, even though they win the challenge. There's a lot of questions if Darvin Ham is the right coach for the Lakers, and it's a hard job to have, which he talked about in the post-game interview, that everyone always has an opinion. You're never going to get it right because it's the Los Angeles Lakers organization. You're under a microscope. But for a lot of people, it's like, well, why do the Lakers blame everybody but the Lakers? Why is it the coach? Why is it this person? But a lot of sources have said that it does look back at the coaching. And I do believe if you're the Lakers, and I've said this before, I truly, truly believe if they could go back in time and give Ty Lue the money he was asking for and not lowballing him, he would have still been the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, and we might be looking at a different set of circumstances right now. I think they look back on that and they messed up because they had the coach that they needed to be able to right the ship of the Lakers. That is no diss to Darvin Ham because I think he's done a great job with what he's been dealt with. I don't think he's a horrible coach like everyone's saying, but sometimes you wonder, is the Lakers really the place for a new coach? Should it be an established coach? And, you know, for Darvin Ham, he really dealt with a lot with this Lakers organization this season and really taking all the hits for all the blame. We'll see what's going to happen with the Lakers this offseason. The Denver Nuggets are about to play the Minnesota Timberwolves next, and that's going to be a clash of the Titans, okay? That's going to be a playoff series, which a lot of people are kind of down the Timberwolves, but I'm telling you right now, that's a game 7 type of series. I'm telling you right now. But we'll see what the Lakers are going to do in the offseason. LeBron James, what's going to happen with Darvin Ham, and who's getting out of the next round, Denver Nuggets or the Minnesota Timberwolves?